Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. We got the final game of this 3-game series between the Dodgers and the Reds. And in game number 3, leading on for the Dodgers, playing second base is Sachs, batting second playing shortstop is Seager, batting third doing the catching and Piazza, batting fourth playing center field is Green, batting fifth playing first base is Bellinger, batting sixth playing third base is Beltre, batting seventh playing left field is Guerrera, batting eighth playing right field is Mondesi, and on the mound doing the pitching is DRYSDALE. And for your hometown Cincinnati Reds, leading off playing center field is Rose, batting second playing second's Morgan, batting third playing right field is Griffey, batting fourth playing left field is Foster, batting fifth doing the catching is Bench, batting sixth playing third base is Perez, batting seventh playing first base is Votto, batting eighth playing shortstop is Larkin, and batting ninth and doing the pitching is Johnny Cueto. Let's get down here to Cincinnati and get this game started. And you can see the Cincinnati Reds' upcoming schedule. They stay out here on the West Coast, and go to the West Coast to play San Diego for 3 games, and then they head to Colorado. Sachs to lead it off here for the Dodgers, batting 125 with no homers and no RBIs. Going up against Johnny Cueto, making his first appearance of the year, and in 2014. Making his second appearance of the year. He is 0-1 with a 5.14 ERA. And here's the pitch to Sachs, and that's going to be a base hit in the right field. Steve goes the other way and gets a leadoff single. And that brings up Corey Seager now. Excuse me. And Corey's batting 400 on the year with 2 homers and 5 RBIs. And he just got a hold of this one, and Johnny Cueto's getting lit up here in the first. And that's going to be a double in the right field. And with nobody out, will Sachs try to score here on Griffey? That'll be a 25, and with nobody out, he's going to put the brakes on. Doesn't want to get thrown out at home with nobody out. So now we got second and third, nobody out. Double by Corey. And that's going to bring up Mr. Mike Piazza now. And Piazza is batting 222 with no homers and 2 RBIs. And that's going to be, and they're playing back. It's going to be a ground ball down the short. And he'll fire over the first, and the runners will advance. So that's a 6-3 put out. And Piazza gets an RBI. Now you got a runner down at third and only 1 out. And again, they'll play back here with Sean Green up batting 222, 2 homers and 2 RBIs as Philip Reynolds joins us here today. And that's going to be against the righty at 18. And that is going to be a fly ball out the right field. 41 on a 2 should be fielding column 2. And it is. And we'll re-roll it by. That's going to be a 5, a 45. And Seeger is going to try to tag up here. That'll be a 51 or lower. He tags up and scores. So here's the throw from Griffey. And he's in there. That's a sacrifice fly for Green. And just like that, the Dodgers are up 2-0. And now nobody on, and Corey's up with 2 outs. And Bellinger's batting .250 on the year with no homers and 1 RBI. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Johnny strikes him out and ends the inning, but not until the Dodgers score 2. Dodgers 2, Reds coming to bat. So Drysdale takes the mound with a 2-0 lead already. They'll be facing Rose, Morgan, and Griffey. Pete's batting .294 with no homers and no RBIs. And this is Don Drysdale's first appearance of the year. And let's see here, Drysdale in 1962 was 25-9 with a save and a 2.83 ERA. Here's the pitch to Pete, and that's going to be against the righty. That's going to be a fly ball out the right. Mondesi makes the catch for out number 1. And now we got Mr. Joe Morgan up. And Morgan is batting .200 on the year with a homer and 3 RBIs. Let's see if Joe can get something started here for the Big Red Machine. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Mondesi again. And again, he makes the catch. 2 quick fly balls, 2 quick outs. And Griffey's up now. And Griffey's batting .300 on the year with 2 homers and 4 RBIs. And that's another fly ball. And you guessed it, to right field. Mondesi ties a record held by many, 3 putouts in an inning. We go to the top of the second. It's 2-0 Dodgers. You got Beltre, Guerrera, and Mondesi due up here. Beltre is batting .375 with 2 homers and 4 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Joe. He fires over to Votto for out number 1. And Pedro Guerrero steps up to the plate. Only batting .077, no homers and no RBI. He is 1 for 13 on the year. And it's going to be a ground ball out in front of the plate, a 51 and a 9. That should be column number 1, and it is. And that's a nice play by Bench. He fires down the first for out number 1. And you see the team comparisons here. The Dodgers with 2-2, 194 average. On base percentage 268, slugging 414 with a 682 OPS. The Reds are 3-2, 246 batting average, 306 on base, a 402 slugging, and a 708 on base OPS. Mondesi's up batting .286, no homers and no RBI. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Joe Morgan. He fires over to Votto for out number 3 rather, and that's the end of the inning. We go to the bottom of the second. Foster, Bench, and Perez due up here. George is batting .059, no homers and no RBIs. He's 1 for 17 on the year. And he's going to be 1 for 18 because that's a slow grounder down the Beltre. He fires over to first and gets George by a step, out number 1. And here's Johnny Bench, batting .263, no homers and an RBI. And that's going to be a pop up down the short. Corey makes the catch out in shallow left field for out number 2. And here's Tony Perez now. And Tony's batting .235, a homer and 2 RBIs. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Drysdale strikes out his first victim. And we go to the top of the third. Still 2-0 LA. And Drysdale will lead it off, followed by the S boys, Saxon Seeger. Drysdale in 1962 batted .198 with no homers and 14 RBI. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Joey. He takes it himself for out number 1. And Steve Sachs comes to the plate for the second time today. He's 1 for 1. He singled and scored in the first. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Johnny gets his second strikeout of the game. Round number 2. And Corey Seager comes up now. And Seager doubled and came around to score. He's 1 for 1. And that's going to be a lazy fly ball out to Griffey. And that'll do it. The Dodgers go down 1-2-3. And to the bottom of the third we go. Bottom third of the order, due up 3s everywhere. Votto, Larkin, and Johnny. And Joey is batting .333 with no homers and an RBI. And that's going to be a fly ball out to right field. Mondesi's been busy today. That's 4 fly balls in a row out there. Brings up Barry Larkin. And Barry's batting .167 with a homer and 3 RBIs. And that's going to be a rare play. A 41 and a 39. And that's going to be a swing and a miss, strike 1 on Larkin. And the 0-1 pitch. And he gets a hold of this one, folks. And against the righty, that'll be a 17. And that's going to be driven into the third baseline. And that gets to the wall. And that's going to be a stand-up double for Barry Larkin. So Larkin's down at second with 1 out. And can Johnny help his own cause here? Johnny is 0 for 1 on the season. And in 2014, he batted .132 with no homers and 3 RBIs. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second. And actually, it's going to be a line drive down the second. And see a PR note. So the runner barely gets back. So line drive down the second. Hits it on the button, Johnny did, but right at Sachs. Now there's 2 outs, and it's up to Mr. Charlie Hustle to do something here. He's 0 for 1. As Sean joins us here. And Pete is 0 for 1. He flew out the right back in the first. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Drysdale strikes him out. And the Reds leave Larkin down at second. To the top of the fourth we go. And we got Piazza due up, Green and Bellinger. And Piazza had a ground ball RBI back in the first. Here's the pitch to Mike. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Johnny strikes him out for out number 1. Brings up Sean Green now. Green had a sacrifice fly back in the first. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. CUETO back-to-back strikeouts here. Gets up to 4 Ks now. Strike out the side. He's got the good morning and afternoon. He struck Cody out his first time up. And that's going to be a ground ball down the Joe. That'll be a 1-2-3 inning now. To the bottom of the fourth we go. And Johnny settled down after that rough start in the first. Now you got the 2-3-4 hitters due up, Morgan, Griffey, and George. And Joe's 0 for 1. He flew out in the first. That's going to be a base on balls. Morgan trots on down the first. Now you got Mr. George Foster up. And George is 0 for 1. He flew out back in the first inning also. And here's the pitch to Griffey. And he gets a hold of this one, folks. Let's see where this is going to land out there in Cincinnati. And that's going to be drive into right field, and Morgan and Griffey's going to run for a while. Griffey's turning second, headed for third, and that brown-eyed handsome man's got an RBI triple. And now you got a runner down at third, and nobody out in a 2-1 ball game. And Foster for Beer is George up now. George is 0 for 1. He grounded out the third. And the Dodgers are going to play back here. They'll give up the tie and run. They don't want a big inning here and give up the lead. As we drop the dice for the first time today. And that's going to be a 17. And that is going to be a ground ball back to the mound. 31 and a 1. That'll be barely fielding column 3. It's actually going to be a pop-up back at the mound. So he pops it up. Drysdale makes the catch. And the runner holds at third. It's a big out there. Now you got Johnny up. Bench is 0 for 1. He popped up the short back in the second. And that's going to be a fly ball out the right field. And Mondesi's out there. And he's got a freaking cannon for an arm. And that's sure that's going to be column number 1. And it is. We'll have to roll another dice here. And that's going to be a 47. But like I say, Mondesi's got a cannon. Griffey's got awesome speed. It'll be a hell of a battle here. I think you got to send him. 47. 27. So that'll be a 53 or lower. That'll be a sacrifice fly for Bench. And barely makes it in there. Mike Piazza jumping up and down. A 53 or lower. He's safe. And that's what he gets, a 53. Piazza screaming that he put the tag on him. So that's a sacrifice fly by Bench. And that ties this ball game up, folks. And it is now 2 apiece here with 2 outs. And Tony Perez up. And Tony is 0 for 1. He struck out back in the second inning. And that's going to be a ground ball down the third. Beltran's down there. 52 and a 5. And that's still column number 1. And that's going to be a nice play by Beltre. He fields it, fires over to first, and that'll end the inning. But the Reds scored 2 and tie this ball game up at 2 apiece. To the top of the 5th we go. And speaking of Beltre, he'll lead it off, followed by Guerrero and Mondesi. And Beltre is 0 for 1 today. He grounded out back in the second. And that's going to be a pop fly out in shallow center field. Pete comes in, makes a nice running catch for out number 1. And Guerrero comes to the plate. And Pedro's 0 for 1. He grounded out in the second. That's going to be a ground ball down to Joey. He calls off Johnny, and that'll be out number 2. And Mondesi's up now. And Marul is 0 for 1. He grounded out in the second. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Johnny strikes him out. The Dodgers go down 1, 2, 3. To the bottom of the 5th we go with the bottom part of the order due up. Votto, Larkin, and Johnny. Joey's 0 for 1. Flew out in the 3rd. And that's going to be another fly ball. This one out to Guerrero out and left for out number 1. And Barry Larkin grabs a bat, comes up, and he doubled back in the 3rd. He's 1 for 1. He's going to be 1 for 1 again because he's going to walk on down to first. And they're going to give the bunt sign to Johnny rather, and try to get Barry over to second. Johnny hit the ball right on the head, but right at Sachs. He's 0 for 1. Now line out back in the 3rd. See if he can get the bunt down here. and a 36 on a sacrifice. And a wild pitch of 3. Nope, so it's going to be a rare play. Rare play with a runner on first on a 36. And a 36 on a 36. 36 on is a 12. And that's going to be hit down the short and down the sinker. And 56 on a 9. Should be still column number 1, maybe. Nope, that's going to be column number 2 on a sacrifice. Sacrifice. And let's see, safe at first on our fielder's choice. Runner to third on an error. Runner out trying for home. Batter to second on throw. S holds third and batter holds first. And nope, he doesn't. So that's going to be a, let's see here if we can get this in here. That is going to be a sacrifice. With an error. So let's bring this up here. Sacrifice with an error, and then they're going to throw the runner out. Sacrifice with an error. Okay, sacrifice. So it's going to be a sacrifice. And it was back to the pitcher. Back to the pitcher. It's going to be an error. And the runner on first is going to get thrown out at home. And the batter is going to get down to second. Am I correct? Yep, and the batter's going to get down to second. Let's see if this works here. Yep, all righty, we got her in there. Now, so now you got 2 outs, a runner down at, how in the hell is Larkin down at second? Should be Johnny down at second, so it didn't work. Bellinger wasn't out at first. Larkin advances to second, so it didn't work. Let's redo this. So we're going to do it this way. We'll try it this way. Do a sacrifice to the pitcher. Fielder's choice with an error, an E1 error. Runner on first is going to get thrown out at home, and the batter is going to get to second. Let's try this. Okay, we got the batter, so I'm just going to do this. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time trying to get him down to second. Runner advance. bases. Oh, I forgot this. And there we go. Now we got it. And back to the ball game here. Now you got Johnny down at second and Rose at the plate with 2 outs. So the sacrifice in a way worked. You got the runner down at second with an out. And Pete's up. And Pete is 0 for 2 today. Let's see if Pete can drive in Johnny. And that's going to be a fly ball out the green. And that'll end the inning. And the Reds leave another runner on. We get to the top of the 6th and a 2-2 tie. DRYSDALE will lead it off, followed by Sachs and Seager. And DRYSDALE is 0 for 1 today. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes DRYSDALE out for out number 1. Steve Sachs comes to the plate. He's 1 for 2 with a single back in the first. And that's going to be a ground ball. Nope, that's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes out Sachs. Back-to-back strikeouts again. Can Johnny strike the side out? He's up to 7 strikeouts here. He has Corey Seager up. He's 1 for 2. He doubled back in the first. And that's going to be against the 16. That'll be a fly ball out the Rose, and that'll be out number 3. The Dodgers go down in order. Like I say, Johnny's been pitching well since that first inning. Gave up those 2 runs early. He has settled down. You got Morgan, Griffey, and Foster due up here. Joe, he walked in the 4th and came around the score. And that's going to be against 11. That's going to be a base hit in the left field. So Mr. Morgan's aboard here. He goes the opposite way. Gets a base hit. And that'll bring up Ken Griffey. And I think we're going to do a hit and run here with Griffey. A little hit and run. Put the runner in motion here. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. So now Morgan's on his own. Can he steal second base here? That'll be a 33. 63 or lower. He's safe. And he's in there with a stolen base. So Morgan's down at second with a stolen base now. Now you got a runner down at second. And nobody out to go ahead run. Griffey has an RBI triple in this game. And that's going to be a fly ball out the left field. And Joe's going to stay put because a single will score Joe probably anyway. No use trying to get thrown out. That brings up George now with a runner still down at second and 1 out. And George is 0 for 2 today. Can he drive in? What happened there? It was supposed to be a fly ball. Undo. Supposed to be a fly ball out the left, not a single out the left. And now George is up and he's 0 for 2. Can he drive in Morgan from second? And he might do more than that. That ball is high. That ball is hit hard. It's off the wall. DRYSDALE didn't quite put it in the center there. He got it just off the bat enough that George hits this one off the wall out there in left field. He thought he had himself a homer, folks, but that's going to be an RBI double. And that's going to give the Reds a 3-2 lead. 1 out and Johnny Bench up now. And Bench had a sacrifice fly back in the 4th. He's 0 for 1. And that's going to be a wild pitch. And DRYSDALE, the wheels are coming off the cart. Now you got a runner down at third. They're going to have to bring the infield in. And here's the 1-0 pitch to Bench. And that ball is high. Let's see if he can knock this one out of the park, folks. Kiss it goodbye. Johnny Bench has just given the Cincinnati Reds a 5-2 lead here. And DRYSDALE struggling here in the 6th. That'll get the bullpen up in a hurry. And you got the righty, lefty, righty due up, so they'll get Steve Howe and Mr. Marshall up in the bullpen, the lefty and the righty. Now nobody on, one out in a 5-2 ball game. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. So Drysdale gets pissed off after giving up the homer, strikes Perez out for out number 2. Here's Joey. And Joey's 0 for 2. He's flown out twice. And not this time. Joey squares this one up, folks. See where this one's going to end up at. And that's going to be a double in the right field. Now you got another runner in scoring position for Mr. Barry Larkin. Let's see here. And I think they're going to bring in Mr. Morgan. Mr. Marshall's going to come in here. That's going to be it for Drysdale. So Marshall's going to come in here, try to get out of this 6th inning with a runner down at second and Barry Larkin up. So Drysdale can't get out of the 6th. And Mike Marshall will come in the game. This is Marshall's 2nd appearance. He's 0-1 with a 9 ERA. We'll check out the line for Drysdale here. And Drysdale still has a runner down at second, his responsibility. 5 2/3, 6 hits, 5 runs so far, 2 walks, only 3 strikes out for Drysdale and a homer. And now you got Barry Larkin up against Marshall. And Larkin is 1 for 1. He has doubled and walked. And that's going to be a runner down at second. And that's going to be a pop-up down the first baseline near the stands. Sachs goes over and makes the catch for out number 3. But the Reds score 3 runs and take a 5-2 lead here. As we go to the top of the 7th, you got Piazza, Green, and Bellinger. The big boys due up here for the Dodgers. Hey, Ken Castro joins us here today. And Piazza's 0 for 2 today. But he does have a RBI in the game. And that's going to be a base on balls. You don't want to be doing this. You just got the lead, and that's going to get the bullpen up for the Big Red Machine now. As you can see, the team comparisons, Dodgers 2-2 with 17 runs, 10 homers, 2 stolen bases and been caught once. And the Reds 3-2, 21 runs, 13 homers, 5 stolen bases, and been caught twice. Got up 20 minutes ago. Nothing wrong with that, buddy. Nothing wrong with that. And Sean Green's up now. He's 0 for 1. He did have a sacrifice fly and an RBI in the first. And the Reds are looking for a double play, and that's just what the doctor ordered, folks. That's going to be the old 4-6-3 double play. The Big Red Machine comes through, helps Johnny out. Now there's 2 outs and nobody on for Cody Bellinger. And Cody's 0 for 2 today. And here's the pitch to Cody. And that's going to be another base on balls. This might be the last inning for old Johnny. He's due up in the 7th inning. See if he can get out of this 7th inning first, though. Now you got Beltray up. He's 0 for 2 today. Yeah, exactly. I agree with you, Ken. I love this set. Both of them, the pre and the post. Here's the pitch to Beltray. And that ball is high. That ball is far. Kiss it goodbye, folks. And it's a 1-run ball game as Beltray hits a homer to dead center field, no doubt about her. And just like that, it's a 5-4 game. Trying to get Johnny through this because he's due to lead off that bottom of the 7th. Guerrera's up. He's 0 for 2. They go out and talk to him. Here's the pitch to Guerrera. And that's going to be a ground ball out in front of the plate. Johnny's got it with no problem. Fires over to first, but the 2-run homer by Beltre makes it a 1-run game as we go to the 7th inning stretch. We'll have a pitch hitter here for Johnny. We'll take a look at his line. Like I say, was cruising after that first inning until the 7th. The walks came back and bit him in the butt there. Johnny goes 7 innings, only 3 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, and a homer. So who's going to come off the bench here and pitch hit? Most of the lefties was already in the game. And then we want Casey to come off the bench. Yeah, Sean Casey's going to come off the bench here. Pitch hit for Joey. All righty. So here's Sean Casey. Casey comes to the plate. See if he can make the fans in Mudville happy here. Casey at the bat. He's batting .200 with no homers and no RBIs. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Marshall strikes him out. Casey strikes out in the Mudville 9, moan and groan. Casey's out. Now we're back to the top of the order. And Pete Rose. Pete's 0 for 3 today. And he's going to be 0 for 4 because that's going to be another strikeout. Marshall is on fire here in the 7th. Trying to keep this a 1-run game. And Joe Morgan, who's 1 for 2. He has scored both times. He's got a single and a walk and a stolen base. And that's going to be a fly ball out to green in center field. The Reds go down in order. We go to the top of the 8th. Let's see who's going to come out of the bullpen here. Got the righties due up here. Let's see here. Is it going to be Carroll or Hey Dibble Dibble? Rob Dibble is going to come out of the bullpen here. Trying to keep this a 1-run ball game. So out of the pen comes Rob Dibble. And let's see, are they going to pitch it here for Mondesi? Mondesi's going to stay in here and bat. He is 0 for 2. You'll have Mondesi, a pitch hitter for Marshall, and then Steve Sachs up. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Morgan. No, that might be a swing and a miss. It's a ground ball down to Morgan. Don't doubt yourself. So he fires over to Votto for out number 1. Yeah, one of the nasty boys is right, Sean. And now you're going to have Mr. Marshall pitched hit 4. See who's going to come out of the dugout here and pitch hit. And Maury Wells is going to come out. Need to get a base runner on here. So Maury's going to try to get on base, bring the tying run up to the plate. And Maury's batting .250 with no homers and no RBIs. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Hey, dibble, dibble. He strikes out Maury for out number 2. We go back to the top of the order. And Mr. Sachs. And Steve is 1 for 3. He singled and came around the score in the first. And that's going to be a base on balls. That's one thing Mr. Dibble can do. Walk himself into trouble here. Now you got Corey Seager up. The tying run is at the plate. And Seager's 1 for 3. He doubled back in the first. And he's going to do something here. He squares this one up, folks. Where's this ball going to land at? That's going to be a double over first base. Corey turns on it. And Sachs, with his speed, with 2 outs, should score. Griffey's got a good arm out there, though. And he'll not make a throw. So that'll be a double in the right field. And that ties this ball game up, folks. So, hey, dibble, dibble doesn't come through. It's a tie ball game. Now you got a runner down at second and 2 outs for Mike Piazza. The walks are killing the big Reds here. See the Dodgers' upcoming schedule. They stay here at home against, they go home against Arizona Diamondbacks for 3 games, and then Houston comes to town. Mike is 0 for 2 today. And that's going to be a base on balls. Dibble now has first and second. And the lefty Green up. Can he get out of this mess with only 1 run scoring? Green's 0 for 2. He had a sacrifice fly back in the first. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes him out, but he gives up the run. It's a 5-5 ball game as we go to the bottom of the 8th. And Steve Howe's going to come out of the bullpen because you got the lefties up here. Foster's up. Griffey's up. So we'll bring in Steve Howe. See if he can keep this a tie ball game. And this is Steve's first appearance of the year. He is, let's see what year it was for him. In 1983, he was 4-7 with 18 saves and a 1.43 ERA. And here's the pitch to Griffey. And that's going to be a base on balls. He walks the go-ahead run down the first. These walks are killing these guys. And here comes George up now. And he's 1 for 3 with an RBI double back in the 6th. Here's the pitch to Foster. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Guerrero for out number 1. And here's Johnny Bench. And Johnny is 1 for 2 today. He's got a 2-run homer. Yeah, 2-run homer back in the 6th. And that's going to be against the lefty. That'll make him a 15. And that's going to be a fly ball out the left again for out number 2. So it's up to Tony Perez to try to drive that run in from first and give them Reds a 6-5 lead. Tony's 0 for 3, so he may be due here. And nope, that's a swing and a miss. Steve strikes him out. And we're going to the top of the 9th in a 5-5 ball game. And do we make a double switch here and get Dibble out of the game? I think we do. Want to make the old double switch. And Suarez is going to come in the game to play third. He'll bat in the 9 spot. And that'll be it for Dibble. So he couldn't get the job done in the 8th. Let's see who they're going to bring out here. You got the lefty, a righty, and a righty due up. And they're going to bring Eastwick out. Eastwick's going to come out of the bullpen. So Eastwick will bat in the 6th spot. Gotta love not having a stinking DH. Have to make decisions here. So Eastwick will come in and bat in the 6th spot. And Suarez will come in, bat in the 9th spot and play 3rd. Alrighty now. So this is Eastwick's 3rd appearance. No record with a 2.25 ERA. He'll be facing Bellinger, Beltre, and Guerrera. Cody's 0 for 2 today. He did walk, came around to score back in that 7th inning. And he squares this one up, folks. That ball is high. How far is this one going to travel? Eastwick might have just gave up the old gopher ball, and he did. Kiss it goodbye. And just like that, it is now 6-5. As Eastwick doesn't do the job here. Now he's got Beltre up. He's homered in this game. It's a 6-5 ball game as Eastwick gives up the run right away. And that's going to be a fly ball out the deep left field. And Foster's back at the track, makes the catch. Eastwick with a big sigh there. They're hitting him hard, folks. Guerrera's up now. He's 0 for 3. He's grounded out all 3 times, twice to the catcher here. And that's going to be another ground ball. This one to Larkin. Easy play for Barry over to Votto for out number 2. And Mondesi's up. And he's 0 for 3. He's grounded out twice and struck out both times the 2nd. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Eastwick settles down after the leadoff homer. But the Dodgers take a 6-5 lead into the bottom of the 9th. Let's see who's due up here. You got Votto, a lefty due up, followed by Larkin and Suarez. Let's see here. Do they want to go to the bullpen with Mr. Jansen here? Or do they leave Steve in? They're going to leave Steve in to pitch to Votto, and then they might make the change here. So Hal's going to pitch to Votto. They'll lead off this inning. Joey's 1 for 3. The Dodgers up by 1. Here's the pitch to Votto. He doubled back in the 6th. And that's going to be against a 25. That's going to be a ground ball down the sacks for out number 1. And that's probably going to be it for Steve. Now you got all these righties coming up. So he's coming out of the bullpen. Okay, here. It's either going to be Jansen or that's who it's going to be. Jansen's going to come out of the bullpen. That'll be it for Steve. He goes 1 1/3, walked 1, struck out 1. And Jansen's going to come out of the bullpen and try to nail this ball game down with 1 out, nobody on, and a 1-run lead. And he's got Barry Larkin up. And Jansen, this is his 2nd appearance of the year, no record. And Barry's 1 for 2. He has walked and doubled in the game. Can he get on here, folks? And nope, that's going to be well, he might get on. Might be an error. Nope. Mike makes a nice play, fires down the first for out number 1. So the old 2-3 put out. And now it's up to Suarez, who came in for the double switch to keep this game alive. He's batting .333 with a homer and 1 RBI. And that's going to be a ground ball down the Beltray. He takes his time, fires over to first, and that's your ball game, folks. The Dodgers win 65. Third game of this 3-game series. A rubber match. We'll take a look here at the box score. Nice game to start the day off with. I was hoping the Big Red Machine would win now. Eastwick couldn't get the job done. So the Dodgers, 6 runs on only 5 hits and no errors. The Reds, 5 runs on 6 hits, out-hit them but couldn't outscore them. You had Seager with 2 hits. He was the only multiple hit player. The Dodgers were 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position. They only left 2 men on base. Like I say, the Reds did a fine job except for the gopher balls to Bellinger and Beltray. The Reds didn't have anybody with a multiple hit game. They was 2 for 6 with runners in scoring position. You had Griffey with that big triple and Johnny with that big 2-run homer. They left 4 men on base. DRYSDALE gets a no decision, 5 2/3. He definitely didn't have his best, but the bullpen came in and shut him down. 6 hits, 5 runs, walked 2, struck out 3, and gave up a homer. Marshall comes in an inning and a third with 2 strikeouts. Steve Howell gets the win, an inning and a third with a walk and a strikeout. Jansen comes in, gets his first save of the year, 2/3 of an inning. Poor Johnny pitched a good game. 7 innings, 3 hits, 4 runs, walked 2, struck out 7, gave up a homer. Hey, dibble, dibble. That's the difference in the game is the bullpens gave up a run in 1 inning, 1 hit, walked 2, struck out 2. Eastwick comes in, gives up a run, a hit, a strikeout, and a homer. Ones everywhere on the board. Yeah, tough game for the Reds is right, Ken. But it was a damn good game. Exactly. That's a hell of a bullpen, Sean. I agree with you. Yep. They got a hell of a bullpen, but it didn't come through today. Alrighty, let's take a look here at the standings and leaderboard. And out in the East, the Mets are a half a game up on the Braves. The Marlins are a game and a half back. The Nationals 2 games back, and the Phillies 2.5. And the Pirates are leading the Central by a half a game over the Astros and Cubs. The Brewers, Reds, and Cardinals are a game back. And out west, the Giants are a half a game up on the Dodgers now. The Diamondbacks are a game back. The Padres are a game and a half back. And Colorado is 2.5 games back. And you got 3 players batting .500 on the year leading the National League. Abreu, Bryant, and Kent. Sammy Sosa's leading in homers and RBIs, 7 and 12 apiece. Of course, the ERA leader right now is at 0. John Rucker with 2 wins. And you got 4 pitchers with 2 saves on the year in the National League. Sammy Sosa leading in the MVP race, and John Rucker's leading in the Cy Young. And that ends this series, folks. So let's see what the next games will be on the channel. We'll go back to doing an American League game now. Get back here and see what the next game will be. And it looks like it's going to be Kansas City traveling to the Twin City in Minnesota. I don't know if those pitching matchups right or not, guys. Might not be those exact pitchers there. So, but that's what it'll be. Let's see how many game series this is between Kansas City and Minnesota. There's 1, 2, 3. It's a 3-game series. So that'll be what's coming up next on the channel. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell for reminders. Hit that like button and leave a comment. I want to thank Sean for stopping in today, and Ken Castro and Philip Reynolds. Check out Philip Reynolds' great channel. And until next time, you all have a great day and take care.